Once I knew where to look, it was not difficult to find the weavers. They were everywhere. From north to south, east to west, I was able to find artisans who wove carpets that differed a great deal from one another. At first it seemed like there was no rhyme or reason to the differences in the carpet styles, but I soon learned that the discrepancies in colors, textures, and materials are results of tribal boundaries in rural Morocco. Slowly, the once foreign names of these indigenous tribes began to roll off the tip of my tongue. Beni Warrain, Marmousha, Beni Megild, Zemouri, Zayan, Aitwazgiti, Galawi, Shishawa, Rahamna. I was beginning to distinguish the unique characteristics that belonged to each tribe and their carpets. As my education into the Moroccan carpet trade grew, I began to meet more and more women who wanted to sell me their carpets. For every trip that I made to Morocco, I received invitations to visit new villages and buy more carpets. The first few buying trips I made to Morocco, I would faithfully visit all of the villages. Soon, I had more invitations than I could accommodate. I began to limit the amount of stops I made, as I was eager to focus upon just a few different weaving styles and regions. I noticed it early on, but did not register it until much later. In general, the women I met were always eager to sell me their products. Often they would be peddling rugs that they had just cut off of the loom, but sometimes they would usher me into their homes to show and presumably to sell me their family heirlooms, antique carpets that graced the floors of their living rooms. In a country where 60% of working women are involved in the textile industry, it is no wonder that I had such an easy time finding weavers. Unfortunately, though, the overabundance of supply has fueled a carpet dynasty that has divorced the producers from their end products. I currently work closely with two weaving organizations. One is a cooperative of approximately 35 women in the northern Middle Atlas Mountains, and the other is a family-based association in the southern desert region. With both of these weaving organizations, I run quality control workshops based on what I expect the end product to look like. This is a tricky area for me to navigate, as it is important to me that the weavers continue to act as the main designers, that the carpets retain their historic authenticity, and that my suggestions are only about specific things that make the carpets more marketable to a US audience. For instance, in this light, I am able to make suggestions that the women finish their carpets with fringe on both sides, something that the American market expects out of a carpet, but something that is often left out of Moroccan carpets. At the same time, I stand away from critiquing the weaver's wild use of colors, because as I learned through my sales in the US, some customers really value the eclectic colors, compared to others who prefer a more muted palette. Initially, I was surprised at how open these women were to my suggestions, and as I became more culturally fluent, I began to understand my nuanced role in their carpet trade. To these women, I am an anomaly. On the one hand, I am a secular American woman, and because I am still unmarried, it means that to Moroccans I am merely a girl. On the other hand, I speak French, Arabic, and English. I rent a car and I travel alone through the backcountry of Morocco, buying carpets along the way. All tasks that are traditionally performed by men. Despite the fact that the women might see me as just a girl, they also recognize that I am a businesswoman, and they treat me as such. As I began to understand my innate power, which stems from perceived gender roles, I became more cautious about giving suggestions for how the weavers should develop their products. After all, they are the artists.